Hello and welcome to Outsiders Weather and the Skeptics Ice Age Watch, where it is going to be bucketing down this coming week, raining cats and dogs up and down the eastern seaboard, so get ready for a soaking.
Even the rain that falls isn't actually going to fill our dams and our rivers.
Oh, right. OK, I don't know where he came from, but thanks, Tim. He's one of those global warming gurus. Anyway, where was I? Widespread floods have also inundated China's southern and central regions, affecting more than 2.5 million people. Heavy rains ravaged 10,700 hectares or...
Even the rain that falls isn't actually going to fill our dams and our rivers.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Anyway, as I was saying, officials in China claim that 110 rivers in 8 different regions also had so much rain that they swelled to the above flood stage. Ludian, for example.
Even the rain that falls isn't actually going to fill our dams and our rivers.
OK, Tim, but this is my show, not yours. So be a good boy and toddle off to your waterfront and hop onto your I Love Greta Lilo. Anyway, also in China, herdsmen in the northwest of China's Xi'an Uyghur Autonomous Region have endured heavy losses this week after a summer blizzard, yes, a summer blizzard, which froze to death over 500 livestock animals across the county. Meanwhile, with over 30,000 additional troops being deployed in Ladakh to counter Chinese military aggression, the Indian Army had to place emergency orders for tons of extreme cold weather survival gear. And yes, it is the middle of the Indian summer. An unseasonably cold and wet system has hit Jackson Hole over the past few days, resulting in well below average temperatures and above average rainfall for this time of year.
Even the rain that falls isn't actually going to fill our dams and our rivers.
I got it. OK, according to the local weather bureau, temperatures are 25 to 30 degrees below average and could equal the records for the cold maximum temperature for June 29 set back in 1968. Remember, it's summer in Jackson Hole.
Life's gonna be better now, better in Jackson Hole. No California dreaming anymore. I put Wyoming out of my back door. Life's gonna be better now. Life's gonna be better in Jackson Hole.
Nonetheless, some good news for Greta, Jacinda and the Lovies. The Marchfield News reports that the ice in Greenland is melting more rapidly than it is forming. Comparison of the description of the Jakobshavn Glacier shows that its edge has receded 8 miles and it has lost 20 to 30 feet in depth. Oh, hang on. Sorry, folks. That's the Marchfield News from 1903. Damn, silly me. Which reminds me, it has been 10 years since the US Navy predicted, wrongly of course, that the Arctic would be ice-free by 2013. And all the excited lovey media reported last week a study that said the South Pole has been warming at 3 times the global average over the past 30 years. But were they right? Well, no, not according to Chris Martz of Chris Martz Weather, who says, according to this chart, the South Pole has warmed very little over the last 40 years and is actually cooler now than it was during the early 1980s. Finally, in Idaho, the record for the coldest high temperature on June 29th of 59 degrees was set in 1970. Funnily enough, that was around the same time that a frustrated young guitarist called Joe Walsh moved there after his band had split up I'm mowing the lawn, he recalled years later. I look up and there's snow on the Rockies in the middle of summer. It was so beautiful, and I thought, that's the Rocky Mountain way. Joe Walsh never looked back. That's global warming for you. And that's it for Outsiders Weather and the Skeptics.